Let's start with the obvious question, Kalani. Who's the starting coach?
Well, we got all the coaches here, so the lineup's still the same.
When do you want to determine who the starting quarterback is?
As soon as possible. I think more importantly, we just need to talk to the guys and let them know what went into the decisions. And, I mean, open communication is the most important thing for us as coaches and letting our guys know where they stand. But regardless of how depth charts work, you know, you saw last year guys have to be ready to play. And so the huge emphasis in camp this year was to get our guys ready, our depth better. And the only way to do that was to play a lot of live reps. And I'm glad we came out of it as, you know, with not any major injuries this fall camp.
Do you know who the starting quarterback is going to be?
I have to talk to Grimes and A-Rod. What are you grilling me on these questions?
Kalani, the season's almost here. We got to go, baby. If you ain't ready, you got to tell us.
It's one of the two guys, so Zach or Tanner. It's one of the two.
All right. We're learning things. We're learning things
There
today.
won't be like, unless Steve Young wants to come back and have another year to play, then that might throw a wrench in things. But
Baylor Romney runs out there. We're like, whoa, we didn't see that. That's crazy.
Yes. Now, at this juncture, because there hasn't been a revealed starting quarterback, do you seriously consider holding on to that until the game? Because, I mean, you're 9 days away.
No, I think it's important for the team to know who's gonna be the starting quarterback when we open the game up, and I think it's important for them to know the positions. You know, that not just the quarterback position, but all of it going into the prep. I think it's important for our first team defense to know that they're first team guys, and then the backup guys to know that they're going to be the backups. So I think that's the whole point of competing for a starting spot, is that you do it and then you name the starters and then you go with it, and you if you can use more than just the 11 starters, then great. But for the most part, you gotta have a winner in the competition.
Sorry, let me clarify that question a little bit. Not revealing it to the public. Maybe the team knows, but not telling the public. Is that an option?
Probably not. I think it's important just to go with it, you know. And I think they deserve it. Our quarterback deserves it. Our whole team deserves to win the starting spot. And I don't know if keeping it secret until game time really matters. And then I think you're just emphasizing the wrong things. You know what I mean? We're trying to get our squad ready to play and not really worry about, you know, trying to the gamesmanship of it all. I think it's important for us to just be up front, let the team know, let our fans know, and let our opponents know who the starter is.
What surprised you in fall camp?
Probably the lack of injuries. I don't know if that surprised us. I was happy about it, but we were so physical and did a lot of live tackling, and to come out of it with not a lot of you know, injuries. I think we're fortunate, but yeah, I couldn't have written it any better. You know, the way that it ended up. But I thought maybe the air quality wasn't great. That was you know, a little different than what we expected, and I wanted it to be hotter. So if we can get it even more hot, we've basically told our guys it's going to be the hottest they've ever been, and so. What would be more surprising if all of a sudden it was like 60 degrees in Tucson when we kicked off. That would kind of ruin things for us, I guess.
That would be crazy.
Tucson.
Well, I looked last night, no kidding. Early projection for kickoff in Tucson should be low 90s.
Awesome. So we're on the right path.
Yeah, you have prepared them accordingly.
Yes.
When you look at 9 days away, how much attention are you paying now to Arizona football and what they do?
Yeah, the focus now goes on completely on Arizona, and I mean, obviously, we still want to get our team to function correctly with our fundamentals and this technique and the scheme that we're trying to take to Tucson. But we want to see there's a lot of unknowns, even with Coach Sumlin being new there. I think Marcel Yates is the same coordinator, and so maybe a couple changes there. But you know, we know Noel Mazzoni is the offensive coordinator. We've been around him quite a bit, so. I think there could be a few things that are a little different, but they have a great quarterback that's a Heisman candidate, and we'll start there first defensively, and offensively we'll try to see what we can establish our identity on the field against Marcel Yates' defense.
How would you assess the play of your defense in fall camp?
Good. I think the offense got a good head start, and I think the defense came on strong towards the end and made it really competitive. And I think a lot of credit that goes to the offensive line being so physical, you know. And then we had to just match it. And so I think you just get sick and tired of being pushed around. You might want to stand your ground sometime, and it kind of happened. And yeah, we'll see how it works against Arizona. And I know these guys are anxious to play against somebody else.
Have the various position switches, especially on defense, have those been validated in fall camp, or do you still need to see that in games?
No, definitely. I think we already knew what we wanted to get done, moving Sione to linebacker and Zane to flash. We knew what they could bring to us. It's just a matter of them understanding the scheme and the technique, and they already had it down before we even started practice one. So been really happy with Zane. He's such a great football player. He's just got great instincts, so it was an easy adjustment for him. And we made some changes on other positions, but I think the mindset is what's best for the kid, and then his best opportunity to get on the field and possibly get him an opportunity to the next level, but also helps us win. So we do all that, and I think it's working really well.
I know you were a big proponent of, okay, things have obviously got to change from last year to this year. We've got to switch things up. I want the culture to be different. I want accountability to be different. It's one thing to say it, but it's another to implement it and see how that has really affected the team. So how has that changed in accountability and culture from your perspective to this juncture of fall camp?
Well, I mean, I think it's the easy thing to say is that last year was all crap and scratch it all, right? Just forget it all. But that's not true. I mean, we did some really good things, and we had some good moments, and it's to build on the positive things and then challenge our guys to do a little bit more and different, and be a little bit, emphasize some things that are different that will make us find our identity. I think it's easy to say this is what we're going to be, but you need to put in the work, and in order for it to all work out the way that you want. And then that starts for me as a head coach, and I think once they see all of us willing to change and do things differently, I think we're to the core, we're still the same guy, same program, same thing, and BYU always be the same because it's what we represent and the way we take the field and the way we play the game. But the way we execute some things, I think we looked a little at a few things that could highlight what we can do to kind of get an edge, and it requires a little bit more sacrifice, and our guys realizing that BYU is really hard, and it's going to be a wonderful 4 or 5 years, but it's going to be hard. And that's what we said. That's what made the mission so special for us to serve that, because it was really hard. It was difficult, and you work extremely hard. And being a guy that's been there before, this is going to be hard. And I had a great time doing it. But the reason why it was so memorable is because I grew so much, and maybe the person that I am, and the friends that I got to be around, and the woman that makes all the decisions in my life. So we're all on the same page there, right? And so I think rather than trying to be something else, we just elevate what we are as BYU and as a program, and appreciate our fan base that loves us so much.
How many up downs can you do right now? Because the team after practice has like these punishments for certain things, and in their position groups. So how many could you do? How many could you do right now?
Well, I would be willing to do as many as I need to, but if there's no reason for it, then I'm not going to just do it for fun. Right?
I was going to ask you to do one, but maybe not now.
It's like people ask me, when's the last time you hiked the Y? I'm like, I remember when I was up there as a freshman in college, and I don't think the view has changed much since then.
94, right?
Yeah, so I mean, and if I really need to check out the view, my wife hikes it quite a bit, so she can tell me, take pictures for me.
Yeah, exactly. We have high-definition cameras for all of that now.
So
lazy. I just come on. There's other things that that are on the priority list right now than up downs and hiking the Y.
Prudent is the word.
Yes. Yeah. Got to win games. I got to get ready for Arizona and going to Tucson. You guys telling me hiking the Y and all that up down stuff.
We're just looking out for your overall health, Coach.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm working out just enough, right? I'm not out there where people think that that's all I'm doing is working out, but I'm not falling behind where you have to be a little worried about my health.
Just enough. Let's not make any T-shirts with that on.
I'm at the C. I'm at the C grade right now.
Okay.
In physique, right?
And A mentally.
Spiritually is the most important one. Okay. Yeah.
Kalani, it's great to talk to you. Obviously, we're stoked for the season, as are you, with Arizona approaching. Thanks.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Go Cougs.
Give us one up down. Let's
typically,
go.
This is where you think the interview just is over and
we bro hug it out.
Yeah.
But he said, I'll do an up down if you do one. So then I did one that wasn't that good. And there it is. And then here's Kalani doing it.
You called Kalani to action.
And he's got quick feet, and he did it. He's a man of his word. And then he asked you to do it, and you did it in a white polo.
And then he complimented me for not getting
nice.
a grass stain on my white polo.
Very nice. He's got quick feet, dude. I can see where he was like an effective fullback. Look at those calves, dude.
Look at his calves.
Those are first-team All-American calves.